Twitch page.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think
that loaded so we can see comments. There we are.
Oh, I miss doing this.
Me too. Me too.
Although I don't know if I'll be able to see comments. Oh, there we go. Hi, ladies. Hi, John.
You got it? Okay, good.
Good to go.
All right. Let me get this rundown pulled up. We are missing Meredith tonight, for those that are wondering. She's working.
She had to do the Cavs game on Colin Sexton's birthday. They're celebrating.
Colin Sexton. How about him, huh?
How about he's only 22? How dare anyone be 22?
Like, I actually would have thought he was younger than that. I'm actually surprised. Did we celebrate his 21st birthday last year? I think we did.
I'm sure we did. I celebrate everything he does.
All right. Well, Britt, it's me and you tonight.
Woo!
You ready to do this?
I'm ready.
The bees. That's what bees said.
I'm going to throw in some hearts in this chat.
That is your favorite thing to do. I love it. That's why you look forward to doing this.
This is my favorite thing. Just overloading.
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what it means.
I don't know either, but it looks so fun. Join me, guys.
That's you.
Give the hearts.
All the green hearts. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this will be downloaded hopefully at some point tomorrow. So just be patient with us. We're going live. Got to edit everything and we'll get it out there. So welcome everyone in to episode number 6 with Fansided of That's What B Said. I'm your host, Bree at Breezy Clee. Hey, you can see me now. And I'm joined by Brittany Mollis is with me tonight at Bird's Eye View. Hi, Britt.
Hello, everyone. Celebration.
Have you recovered?
No, look at me.
Are
look
we
at my
cry?
hair. What is this? It's like a bird's nest up here. I'm so tired.
As I mentioned, for those joining us a little bit late on the live stream, Meredith is not with us today at MCAN Sports. She's working the Cavs game tonight, so we miss her. However, we are going to try to get you guys a second episode later in the week because we're really excited about the Browns being in the playoff.
Yeah.
So hopefully she'll be back for that with us to celebrate and chat with her as well. All right. So, Brittany, the Cleveland Browns are in the playoffs for the first time since the 2002 season.
2002. What was Bree like in 2002? Last time the Browns were in the playoffs.
I was in high school and I was playing basketball. Pretty sure I was gearing up to go on my basketball tournament run, if you will. Me and LeBron James were in high school.
Of course. Good God.
Yeah, we never made it to state, so I can't go that far, but that's what I was doing. I was playing basketball, living my life with really bad eyebrows and questionable skincare management and makeup choices. But, you know, there was no iPad. There's no iPads, right? At that point in time.
Exactly. That's back when we all wore white eyeliner. The good old days.
I love that. Actually, that should come back. Brittany, what were you doing? Do you remember?
What was I doing in 2002? Let's see. I think I was a freshman in high school, maybe. Just being awkward, acne filled. Life was great.
Just being awkward. That sums up everything about high school.
Yeah, I never really grew out of the awkward phase, but here I am.
It's actually, though, really funny. This entire season was pretty much the Browns haven't done this since X year. What were you doing that year? Like, what didn't exist at that moment in time? Like, that's pretty much how this entire season played out.
Yes. Look at how much different, like, society in general is from the last time the Cleveland, 18 years ago. That's a full-grown adult. I can't get over it.
Yeah, did you, that's a full-grown adult. That's so true. Did you see the video that CBS, I think it was CBS Sports, that they put out that was like a parody of that exact thing? If not, I'll have to send you the video, but it was like a guy celebrating the Browns going to the playoffs in the 2002 season, and then he's himself, but he's like coming back to say like, don't celebrate. There's nothing to celebrate.
Oh my God.
The Cavs are going to win a championship before Cleveland, the Browns go to the playoffs again. And he was like, you're going to go through 26 different quarterbacks. I mean, and he was like, what? And then he was like, he was like, what's that thing you're holding? It was like an iPad tablet.
Oh my God,
And
how
then,
cute.
the guy in the future was wearing the AirPods, and he was like, you're wearing hearing aids? Like, I was like, it's so true. Like, can you imagine going back in time?
Ear pods, that's what I call them.
Ear pods.
Ear pods.
All right, so we have a lot of things to get into tonight. A lot of celebratory things, some annoying things because, people got to stay annoying.
Of course.
So I would say, Brittany, like going into the actual game, and then we'll get into the reaction from the game. It wasn't very pretty. In fact, I would say the Browns looked very sloppy at times. Have to remind ourselves again that they were without some key pieces and players and coaches once again, due to COVID. I think the other thing that you have to keep in mind is this was really going on like week 2 of dealing with COVID situations. So while they were able to get their wide receivers back, their linemen back, they didn't have a full week of normal practice. The building pretty much got shut down almost every week last week because of new cases. I mean, it felt like every single day you were bracing yourself for who's going to test positive or who's going to be identified as a close contact, like leading up to the game again. It was terrifying.
It was. But you know what? At least it wasn't uncontrolled spread, whatever that means, because they clearly had it all under control. It's fine.
Yeah. Like, how do you deem something as being controllable? It's so weird to me because it felt like an outbreak.
It very much was an outbreak. And somebody said, like, what constitutes uncontrolled? I said, being a Baltimore Raven. That's the standard. You just have to be in Baltimore in order for your games to get postponed, I guess. But they played. We're in the playoffs. And that's the show tonight, guys.
We're in the playoffs. You're right. And as another reminder, it was a win or go home game. Like we all knew that going in. The players all knew that going in. I think we as fans probably wanted the Browns to perform a little bit better. Baker Mayfield at times looked a little bit off. But once again, he was good enough. He ran the ball yesterday really well. He extended plays. And I just, at this point in time with Baker Mayfield, I don't know how there are still critics, but there still are. I feel completely confident with him as our quarterback because I don't feel like Baker will give up. And I don't feel like he will let things keep him down throughout the game.
No. You saw like yesterday after he looked so genuinely happy. Like he might have been crying. I don't know. I can't remember most of yesterday. But I vaguely remember that part where he just looked so happy. And I was like, that's my quarterback. That's him. That's the guy. And they did the, sort of like a trip down memory lane thing where I saw that clip of him today pop up when they asked him before the draft, like, coming to the Cleveland Browns, what that would be like. And he said, they're real close. They need, one piece to turn around the franchise. And I feel like I'm that guy. And I was like, you really were. You were that guy, Baker.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Like he said it and then it manifested. Like it actually happened. It's pretty it's truly unbelievable. Like that was our lowest of lows.
Yes.
Lowest of lows.
Yeah.
It's
well, the 3-year anniversary just came up of the 0-16 season. That popped up on my Facebook, which, the Facebook memories kind of piss me off in general because it's like, can I just live my life without? But then once I see it, once I'm reminded of these terrible heartbreaks, I have to share it for everyone. And then everyone's like, stop putting that bad juju into the universe. And I'm like, guys, it's just a memory. Shut up. We were all there.
We lived it. Okay, well, so can I bring something up that'll make you mad or make everyone else mad? I was thinking about this too today. Like it was just a year ago at this point in time where we were debating who our next head coach was going to be. John Dorsey, I think, was fired. right around, was it New Year's Eve? I think he was fired. And
Ye-
then
Yeah, but like, wasn't he sort of like demoted, but not? They tried to put him in another position, I think, and
I don't
then
even
like he
remember.
politely declined. I guess I don't remember how that all played out. I was thinking about that yesterday. Something like that happened where he wasn't exactly fired. They just said, "Hey, you're not going to be GM anymore," and I think that's when he was like, "All right, bye." Which good. Like, look at us now.
Look at us now.
What were we talking about? The power struggle, Brie. The power struggle is not there anymore. We got
Yeah,
smart guys on the
alignment.
same page, and this is what happens.
Yes, and players have acknowledged that.
Mhm.
And we have Kevin Stefanski, who we were huge fans of going into this season. To a fault, we were fans of his. And I want to talk about Kevin Stefanski because um, I texted our group chat yesterday during the game. Like we have a group chat going. We're in constant communication with one another. In regards to football related things, completely non-football related things, but whatever. We're always in contact, us and a group of girls. A lot of it is sports chat. And I said yesterday in the text that I felt like Kevin Stefanski was holding back. It
Mhm.
like I don't know why I felt that way. And I was like I'm probably going to be completely wrong about this because like it's way too risky. And I don't feel like Kevin Stefanski is a guy that likes to take risks, right? He's so just like even keeled. I mean, safe in a
Mhm.
sense.
Sure.
Um, doesn't doesn't come off as being too risky. But I felt like yesterday he just wasn't calling the game how he has in the past. It felt just very simple, I
Mhm.
think. And so I texted that to you guys and I texted my family message too and like everybody was like no like that's like they're not guaranteed to win this game. They have to win like it's win or go home and I was like yes I know that but like does part of him feel like I don't care a win's a win I don't care if we win by 1 or win by 50 like we don't need to win by 50 it doesn't count for anything more than
Mhm.
a win by 1 or 2 points and they went out, they got the job done. They look sloppy at times, but they won by 2 points. And then today, Kevin Stefanski was asked about his his game plan, and Aditi Kikubala, our queen,
Yes.
was on NFL Network today, and she was also in his press conference today, and she brought up that his play calling was very vanilla. Um, and there it was lacking pregame motion. There were a lot more empty sets being called. There were no trick plays, especially when it got to the 20-yard line.
Mhm.
Um, and he was also asked the question about Nick Chubb because Nick Chubb in the game yesterday, he was on the field for only 43% of the snaps. He was on he had 27 touches. Um, he averages close to 35 and beyond, just
Mhm.
as an FYI. And Kareem played a much bigger role. And we saw Nick Chubb go out there and just it looked like he could have ran all over the place, but for some reason he wasn't there. So Brittany, I wanted to ask you the question, like what did you think about this that was brought up today and that people have been talking about? Like, do you think this was intentional by our guy Kev?
Yeah, so first of all, I think, we talked about this last week. The game was going to be a lot closer than people thought it would be. Even with Pittsburgh resting its starters, it's still the Steelers and the Browns historically have a tough time with Pittsburgh Steelers. So even though like, all the cards were falling into place for us, it was still going to be a tough game, and it was. But then I think, I was thinking about this today and I said, sometimes you don't have to be great. You just have to be good enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the Browns mindset. And to us as fans, we're like, well, this is do or die, win or go home. You think they want to go, balls to the wall, everything, put all your cards out. But you have to keep in mind that number one, you don't know how this COVID thing is going to shake out. You don't know who's going to be there next week. Um, you know, that's sort of it's a moving piece that you just never know what's going to happen with it. Number two, if they win, they're going to have to play again against the
Yes.
Steelers. You didn't want to put everything out there. They were playing backups. If you can just be good enough to win a game like this, that's all you need to do. So in the moment, you get stressed out. And before the game, we went to High and Dry yesterday. It's a bar in Tremont. And people were like, oh God, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. And you know me,
Yeah,
I'm sitting
you're
there
so
like,
not.
guys, relax. We got this. No big deal. But then you saw a photo of me in the fourth
That was
quarter where I
hilarious.
was and I was
Loved
like,
it.
oh no, my cover is blown. Somebody saw that I'm not always calm and collected. But in that moment, you know,
What moment was that photo taken in? Was it when did that happen?
I want to say it was in the fourth quarter. I don't know
After the big
which
catch when they scored?
moment it was. There were a couple in the fourth quarter that could be applied to. And you know, as a fan, you're like, oh God, like everything should be going our way right now, should be winning by a lot. And here we are in the fourth quarter squeaking by.
Yeah.
But they got the job done with nobody getting, well, I was gonna say nobody getting hurt, but that's not true because Olivier Vernon's out, which
Yeah.
sucks. I'm very upset about that. But Browns are in the playoffs. So the lesson of the day, guys, you don't always have to be, and I know that's hard for you because you're such a competitor.
But like okay, so I was actually like super calm going into the game yesterday. Like I was nervous. I didn't sleep well. I haven't slept well for like weeks because of little dude, but that's a different story. But I didn't sleep well the night before. I felt like I was coming down from the high of Ohio State winning like majorly, which was also a little bit unexpected
Mhm.
just with their performance. And then I was trying to just tamper my expectations a little bit because of all of the COVID news that kept circulating throughout the Browns building. And I was just like, man, it just feels like the perfect storm again of the uncertainty, not being at practice for the week, like guys not getting enough reps. Like,
Mhm.
I just like want to be calm about this. And so when Nick Chubb went out there and blasted off the 45-yard touchdown run, I
Yeah.
was like, it's fine. Things are
Mhm.
fine. We're going to be fine. And the defense did a pretty good job
Yeah.
of holding the Steelers. They were able to get off the field, but then the offense, like there were just small things, like um, drive halting things, like the penalties, the offsides, mental mistakes that just, it was like, okay, are they nervous? Is this playing a factor? Is the stage going to be too big? And I was like, no, 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 like the stage is not going to be too big. But then I was just getting annoyed because I felt like Mason Rudolph, and like, here's a guy who has nothing to lose, right? He has nothing to lose. Like, he could be
Yes.
auditioning for being the next Steelers quarterback or being on a team somewhere else, a glorified backup, because like, he's not a starter, but whatever. He was just chucking the ball. Like, once again, he just throws the ball up with his eyes closed. And the wide receivers, to the Steelers' credit, they're so good that they can just make these unbelievable
Mhm.
catches. They're big bodied guys, they're really tall. They're playing against cornerbacks that have never played a snap of NFL football for our Browns team. I mean, that's a matchup that they should have been targeting, and so they got some. So I was just like, oh boy, like if this starts to take off, if this starts to be the continuation of them just throwing up these 50-50 balls and then making catches, like this is going to be a long game. And then Nick Chubb also just disappeared in the second quarter. So, I just started kind of like thinking, oh no, like doom and gloom. But I going into halftime was like, we get the ball back. We get the ball back at halftime. We're going to go down and score and it's going to be fine. I think I even texted you, Brittany, too, because you were just so positive. Like, everything's fine. Like, why are you like, stop, everyone stop panicking. And I was like, my expectation, though I said that they were tampered, I expected the Browns to score on every possession and not let the Steelers get a first down. Like, that's like both like where my mind was just like, my mind says one thing, but
Yes.
then I also expect the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's like, when I was watching it, I had like one of my greatest abilities in life is just to like ignore realities. So like one time I didn't get my mail for 3 months because I just didn't want like debt collector. Like I'm like, no, I'm just not getting my mail for 3 months. So yesterday, as I'm watching this game, and the same thing happened last week too, where I was like, it's impossible that
Yeah.
we're gonna lose to the Jets. Like that's not gonna happen. That's not a reality. And then they did. And, I only had myself to blame because I block out the reality of things and just live in my own little world. And that's kind of what I was doing yesterday until the fourth quarter. And I'm just like, and then it all hit me at once. And I'm like, oh my God, are they going to blow this? Like, I just want the Browns to be in the playoffs. I don't even care. Like, if they won next week, that'd be great. If they don't, like, I'm happy with the small steps they've taken this season. Actually, they're not even small. They're like big
Like
leaps.
giant.
They are a much better team than they were last year at this time. So, I'm thrilled, Brie. I am thrilled.
I am too. And so the other thing that I thought was interesting because Kevin Stefanski is pretty stoic. He doesn't give a lot away, even in his press conferences. He's the same guy, win or loss. You would never know if the Browns won that game or lost that game yesterday. All you know is that they're in the playoffs. He was the same guy, not too high, not too low. He did allude in his press conference today that he was thinking ahead in regards to Nick Chubb. He didn't say resting, but he made the comment about we wanted to make sure that he had fresh legs in hopes that we'd be playing more games. And this is from a guy who all season it was go 1-0, go 1-0. It was never looking ahead. Now, I'm sure they had goals for the season, right? Overarching goals that they were trying to achieve. But that kind of surprised me that he kind of broke the armor a little bit of the whole 1-0, like let's focus on 1 week at a time. Did you happen to hear that, and what did you think about him alluding to the whole needing Nick for future games?
I liked it. And the fact that, because Nick Chubb did come out like so strong yesterday, you knew that if at any point in the game, like Kevin feared that they might lose, you could just put Nick Chubb back in. The great thing about having two really good running backs is that you can rely on Kareem Hunt. He got a lot of carries yesterday, and you can rely on him. But if you need to like close it, if you need to finish strong, you have Nick Chubb in your back pocket.
We have Batman.
So, yes, like he's there at your disposal. So I agree with what he did. I'm a little bit shocked that he said it because it is a little bit out of character for him. The whole 1-0 thing, 1 game at a time, blah, blah, blah. We're not looking to, but they had the reality of we need to win today. And then we also need to be fresh and ready for next week when we're in this same game again.
Wild.
It
Wild.
Is. What a year.
What a year. I mean,
what a year.
Okay, so we have to get into the same game next week because the Browns, as we know, we've talked about it. It's been ad nauseum. Everybody, any news station you turn on to, sports related, national, local, whatever. It's the Browns haven't made the playoffs. Like they broke the playoff drought. It's been 18 years, blah, 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 blah. We couldn't even have like 5 minutes after the victory without being hounded by Steelers fans that we beat their backups. Like, and we shouldn't be celebrating for beating their backups. Let me just
first of all, who is that Colin Dunlap guy? Who is this person who's terrorizing us? Who is he? Is he like a radio guy?
He's a radio guy, I believe, for the Fan. So he's Pittsburgh's Ken Carmen and Anthony Lima, like in that group.
Okay, to even put him in the same sentence as Ken,
know, right? It's not
that
fair.
is insulting to everything that we love. Number one. Secondly, what an insufferable piece of crap. He was making fun of them for having shirts.
Yes, we have to talk about all of this.
Like, why are we haven't been to the playoffs since, well, some of us probably weren't even born last time we were in the playoffs. So if we want to celebrate making it to the dance, guess what? We're going to do it. And I did, Brie. I celebrated so hard.
Okay, so I have to try to like bring myself back down to earth and remind myself that I do not play for the Cleveland Browns. I am a fan, and that I need to stop taking things personally as if everything is an attack on me. But I can't. I have a really hard time with accepting the fact that I do not, in fact, play for the Cleveland Browns. I am a fan. So I was just getting really annoyed because it was our moment. Like, I just don't understand a fan base like caring that much about us being happy. It's like they just thrive on the Browns fans being miserable. Like they just want us to be miserable. They want to make fun of us. They wanted us so badly to lose to Mason Rudolph and their backups. But I just have to bring up this point because I was really, really curious because it all I kept hearing about was it was their second string team.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Mr. Steelers fan 85985. Juju Smith-Schuster played 84% of the snaps yesterday. Deontay Johnson played 75%. Chase Claypool played 52%, all within the realms of the snaps that they typically get on the Steelers team. Might I remind you, Robert Jackson, our starting cornerback, had not taken an NFL snap on defense the entire year and played 100% of the snaps. He, our practice squad player, special teams player, was playing against your first string wide receiving team. If you want me to keep going, James Conner played 64% of the snaps, their starting running back, and Micah Fitzpatrick on defense, their starting cornerback or safety, whatever he is, played 100% of the snaps. So sit down with these were your backups. No. These were not your backups. You had starters playing in this game. So then it was Mason Rudolph. I'm sorry, but Mason Rudolph threw the ball farther than Ben Roethlisberger did this entire year.
Right.
And let's not also forget, Steelers fans, your entire starting team lost to a third-string quarterback in the Cincinnati Bengals 2 weeks ago. So that's going to be your argument because you couldn't beat a backup quarterback 2 weeks ago. And don't even bring up that we lost to the Jets. Yeah, we lost to the Jets. Our entire positional group of wide receivers were out the day before the game. Like, you go do that. You couldn't beat anyone with having a full starting team game planning a week before against the Bengals. F all the way off. And by the way, see you Sunday.
I love spicy brie.
God,
feisty brie.
Maybe I should suit up. I might be able to make a tackle. I don't know.
You know what I think is actually worse though than the Steelers fans who are giving Browns fans shit?
Tell me.
Browns fans giving Browns fans shit. I woke up to this tweet today because I tweeted yesterday. I said, if you would have told me 3 years ago that Baker Mayfield would be talking about bringing the Cleveland Browns to the, well, I'm going to censor myself, the playoffs, I would have told you to F off. But here we are. Love you all. So this guy, Eric Thomas, this is his response. And this is the first thing I saw when I woke up this morning.
Ugh. Vomit.
He said, we beat a second string Steeler. First of all, Eric, you didn't do anything. Shut up. We did not do anything. Eric Thomas was not on that field. We beat a second string Steelers by 2 points in one play. Our expectations are so low. We lose in the wild card. I've been a Browns fan for 40 years, so I've stayed loyal and not a hater, fair weather fan. But come on, that was embarrassing. We went from a D student to C plus at best.
Oh my
God. And I just said, LOL, shut up. Like, that's it. If I tell you to shut up, that means I'm mad and just stop. I did not need to see this at 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah, do better. Do better. Like, it's one thing for Steelers fans to say that, but like, don't be a Browns fan and say that.
Yeah. No. Like that other guy. What's his name? The idiot.
Oh, Martin,
you insufferable piece of crap. Who was mad at us for doing FanDuel. Or no, DraftKings. DraftKings without getting money for it. But then he said, well, also you shouldn't be enabling gambling. Like, dude,
he told me I was ruining the community. When he said that, because I literally was like, okay, maybe he's mad because like I didn't send him an invite. Like, we had at that point in time, we had like 30 some spots left. And I was like, hey, like, I'm going to extend an olive branch. You've been mean to us all morning, but hey, do you want to join? Like, it's kind of fun. Like, you might like it. And he was like, you are ruining the community by doing this. And I was like, all right, Martin, it's like, I get it. People have vices. Like, I'm not going to ignore that fact, but to say that I am enabling someone's vice, like, I gave some coworkers wine for Christmas. Like, does that mean that they're going to become alcoholics?
You are ruining your community, Brie. Ruining it. Yeah, How dare you?
Yesterday from start to finish, like, this is what we had to deal with. Browns fans, Steelers fans, Ravens fans, like, everybody has to be in my mentions. TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, for God's sakes, Facebook.
Did you go on Reddit yesterday?
Okay. So I actually wasn't on Reddit a lot yesterday. I did pop in a little bit before I went to bed, and I do want to talk about like the Steelers fans' mindset right now, because I told you, if you're a TikTok user, anybody out there that's a TikTok user, based on liking things, commenting on things, it bases your feed from algorithms of what content you're interacting with.
Mhm.
And Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, I had liked some of their posts in previous weeks because they do dances. I know that's controversial as well. But regardless, I liked a couple of things. So now my TikTok feed, I get a lot of Steelers content that will pop up.
God.
And it is infuriating because I don't want to see Steelers fans content. Like I'm fine seeing like other players content on TikTok, but like I don't want to be viewed as a fan. But right now, like TikTok thinks I'm a Steelers fan.
God.
So I noticed a lot of TikToks today, like as I'm scrolling through, they think that the Browns are like the best matchup that they could have leading up to this playoff game. Like they think that like it's a shoo-in win. And so I do want to talk about that in a little bit because that's the same feeling that I got from being on the Reddit boards as of late. But I'm not done with my being mad. Um, so this kind of goes hand in hand to that. Like a couple of the comments that I've seen today, in addition to like you barely beat our second string team, was that fans are actually saying that the Steelers lost on purpose so that they didn't have to face the Ravens. Like what?
They believe that?
They went from we wanted to beat you so that we can make fun of you for losing to Mason Rudolph and our backups to, oh, well, we lost on purpose. So we didn't have to face the Ravens because they're more dangerous. Like, imagine you always say, like, the mental gymnastics, like, that is elite mental gymnastic levels. Like, that's the Simone Biles of mental gymnastics.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's cute when I do, like, delusional things, but them doing it is not cute. I do not respect this.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I saw that quite a bit. But
God.
like also like then I go back to like the whole, I was thinking this morning, congratulations to all of the like Twitter GMs and Twitter coaches out there because this is a huge victory for them too. They've done a lot of work all season about, who should be on this roster, who should be playing, what plays should be called. I mean, this is a major victory for all Twitter GMs and Twitter coaches. And so I saw a lot of Twitter coaching from Steelers fans as well, because they clearly just threw the game so that they could face the Browns and not the Ravens.
Of course.
I mean, just they're playing chess, Brittany. They're playing chess.
Of course. Yeah, because Lamar Jackson's always great in playoff games.
Right.
Yeah, that's historically true. So good job, Steelers. Glad you threw the game. Like they know anything. These hillbilly fans don't know anything. You know how I feel about Steelers fans. They brush their teeth with butter. That's what my niece told me. The first time they played them this season, I got a message from my sister, and she was like, "Bella's rooting for the Steelers right now." And I texted back. I was like, those people brush their teeth with butter. Is that really what you want to do? Do you want to be that kind of person? She's like, no. So now she's going to live her life thinking Steelers fans brush their teeth with butter.
I mean, based on what I saw, that may not be a lie. No lies detected there.
You don't know.
It's a theory. So yeah, it's been interesting to be a Browns fan and like celebrating this moment out loud on the interwebs. Like on any forum, on any platform, it seems to be that like you're not allowed. Like we're not allowed to celebrate this moment of breaking an 18-year playoff drought. Like we deserve this. Like let us have our moment. And I don't know about you, Brittany, but I really, really, really hope that the Browns pull this off on Sunday, which I don't know if that's me being delusional. I don't know if you've thought about next Sunday at all and what you think could happen, but you're the positive one. So I want to know, like, in Brittany Mullis's mind, can we win?
Okay, so yes, we can win if... Oh, well, let me start this over. So before yesterday, like we played the Steelers and their backups and whatever, the Steelers were on a path going downward. Yes. Meanwhile, the Browns, trajectory, they were getting better and better. Then we hit the Jets, and it's sort of, again, there was a lot of circumstances that were beyond their control that, added up to that loss. Sucked, but it's not really an excuse. It's just the reality of COVID, everything that goes on with it. So I do think that if the Cleveland Browns show up on Sunday, and it's the version of the Cleveland Browns we saw either in the first half versus Dallas, or the version of the Cleveland Browns against the Ravens, like these are teams that could easily beat Pittsburgh, led by Ben Roethlisberger, who has been suffering as of late. They have not been nearly as good as their record indicates. Even when they were undefeated, I said they're frauds. Like plainly, they are frauds. This is the worst. I think at the time they were like 11-0. I said this is the worst 11-0 team I've ever seen in my life. Like that's the reality of it. So I do think if the Browns show up and they play their best to me is still better than Pittsburgh's best. Again, we're gonna have to score probably like 35 to 40. What have we been saying all year? If the Browns want to win, they have to score 35 to 42 points. But like that's the unfortunate reality that we're living in. The defense is still struggling. They're still banged up. They're still gonna have problems. So yeah, I'd say there's a definite chance that the Browns could win on Sunday. If I were a betting woman, you know what? What the hell? I'm just going to put all my chips in. All in. Yeah, Browns are going to win on Sunday. Why not?
Don't stray.
What? Yeah,
where you've been.
Positivity brought us this far, so let's just keep rolling.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a really good point, Brittany, just about the Steelers and their trajectory. I mean, the Steelers fans are hanging on. They are clinging to dear life for the second half against the Colts. Like that is the only thing that is giving them any hope for a playoff run, because before that, they lost to some really, really bad teams. And I think for the Browns, like our trajectory, as you mentioned, like we were on the up and the Steelers were on the down, and you want to be ascending as you make it to this point in the season. Now, it's unfortunate because the Browns hit a rocky path with the whole COVID situation. Like that's probably the worst time to get a COVID outbreak in the season. Like if it's going to happen to you, like have it be earlier on in the season. But the circumstances happened. The Browns got through it. I hope it didn't derail them too far off the path, and they can figure this out as we head into this week. But like you said, like the Browns against the Titans, I thought that was very grim going into that game, because I thought that there was no way that we could stop Derrick Henry. And my goodness, Kevin Stefanski mastermind schemed the hell out of that game plan and made Derrick Henry a non-factor. I think he has the capability of doing the exact same thing against the Steelers team. I mean, might I remind you that when we played the Steelers earlier on in the season, the Browns were still not 100% in the offense. Nick Chubb was also not healthy for this game. We didn't have him. I think the Browns, where they are right now offensively, are a much better fit against the Steelers team. I think the Steelers defense will still be a force, but I think if they can stop TJ Watt and Baker Mayfield is comfortable in this offense and Kevin Stefanski can scheme guys open, which we know he is very well capable of doing because we've seen it week over week, I think the Browns have a really, really good shot. I mean, the Steelers offense doesn't scare me. It really doesn't. Like, and Ben Roethlisberger, like, great. I'm glad that he has a week's worth of rest. I don't know if that's going to make him throw the ball better.
No, I think he's done. And I think he knows that his time is now limited. And like I said, if it comes down to the Browns being at their best versus the Steelers being at their best, and just strictly talking offense, I would put all of my money on the Browns offense to be better than the Steelers off. Because there has never been a point this year where I saw the Steelers playing and I'm like, yeah, this looks like a good team. This offense, this is a good offense. That has never crossed my mind. Whereas, when I've watched Browns games, there have been certain times where I'm like, this is the absolute best I've ever seen this offense look. And the Steelers, I mean, to say that about the Steelers, that would have to be probably like 10 years ago.
It will be like really interesting though, because they incorporated Josh Dobbs yesterday quite a bit. So like that is one thing that I can see them doing to try to give them a spark in their offense. I don't know if that's going to matter either, but like if you recall, we beat the Steelers last year. Freddie Kitchens beat the Steelers last year. And I know that that was a Mason Rudolph led football team, but TJ Watt was still on the other side of the field. And Freddie Kitchens somehow managed to win that game and make TJ Watt a non factor.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
If
Bengals.
Freddie can do it.
Freddie can
Come
do it.
on.
And the Bengals, like, take the Bengals game plan and go with that. Like, that's a tape that I would study for a very long time. Like, I think you have to match their level of intensity or be the more physically dominant team. And I feel really good about this.
Yes. And it always helps to have really smart people in charge, Brie. Because if you and I are sitting here thinking about this stuff, imagine what he's doing right now.
Imagine.
He's got this. I don't think there's a universe where he's going to be. Remember when he said he was outcoached by Adam Gase?
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Yes.
Which, by the
way, is no longer employed, Brittany. You were calling for that last week.
We got Adam fired. No, but I don't think that's going to be the situation that's going to come. I don't think he's going to get out coached. No disrespect to Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, but I believe in Stefanski, what he's doing, what he's done this year. And, I think they're going to take the field ready to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I'm happy. I'm ready, Brie.
I'm ready to. And I know we're going to hopefully have another episode later this week where we'll preview the game more, but I had to bring this up. My brother-in-law dropped a little nugget yesterday in the group chat where it's so funny because like the generational fan base in Cleveland is just so polar opposite. The fact that the Browns make the playoffs, and in my family group chat, like my mom and my dad are just, and my mom's typically pretty positive. Like her and I are probably more alike, but my dad is super negative. I've talked about it before. He's the boomer Browns fan, like seen it all, like negative. I mean, like the entire end of the game yesterday, it was like the Steelers are going to march right down. They're going to score 6 points. They're going to convert the 2-point conversion. They'll probably recover it was like any bad thing that could happen. My dad was like, yes, it's going to happen. I was like, calm down, like slow down, rewind. So yesterday, when the game got announced that we were going to be playing on Sunday Night Football at 8:15, my brother-in-law shoots off a text and is like, this is really good. Like, look at this fact that I pulled together. And he had said that the AFC playoff teams had some really big rushing totals this week. The Ravens this past week rushed for 404 yards, Titans 288 yards, Colts 273 yards, Browns 192, which I would say the Browns is probably a lot lower than where we've been in the past. All four of those teams obviously won. If you look at the top 3 seeds within the AFC, which would be the Steelers, the Bills, and the Chiefs, their rushing yards were 85, 78, and 51, respectively. And that got me thinking, I like that fact because I do feel like the stronger the run game, the better chance that the Browns are going to have. And I would put my eggs in the basket of a team that can dominate on the ground because you can have these long, sustainable drives, keep the ball in your hands, keep the ball out of Ben Roethlisberger and the wide receivers' hands, and control the game much like they did against Tennessee. And you're going to then open up the passing game because, like, if Nick Chubb keeps running it down their throat, like they're going to have to stop doing whatever they're doing. So yeah. I liked that sliver of hope and possibility of what the Browns can do against Steelers and their running game. I don't think that Kevin Stefanski put it out there on Sunday. I just don't think he did.
No. He's playing chess, guys.
Oh, I just like, if he comes out there calling the game and scheming like he did against Tennessee, I will cry. I could cry right now just like thinking about it.
I will die.
Whew. It should be a good matchup though, I think, regardless.
Again, I think it's going to be a close game. We're not going to see a blowout. We're going to see 2 teams fighting till the end. I think that would be my guess. With the Browns hopefully being victorious.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
Stay positive. Put all the positive vibes out there. Let's hope everyone's wearing their masks. And that's the other thing. Like, man, I've said it all year. Like, you never know what's going to happen with COVID and this virus and the pandemic. I mean, the Steelers are going to be without, I believe, Joe Hayden and Eric Ebron, right? Because they both tested positive. Like they're for sure out. Like you just never know who you're going to have and who you're not going to have. Like there's just way too many factors in this season, week to week, unfortunately. All right. That's all we have tonight, Brittany.
Yeah, it was a short show.
Until our preview game. Yeah, our preview game.
We just had to celebrate with you guys. That's all this was.
Yeah, we didn't want to push our episode out, because obviously the playoffs are important. We wanted to talk together with all of you. We were excited. So we thank you guys all for tuning in live. We will be sure to put this available for download. If you guys don't know where to find us on download, you can find us on Spotify, Apple iTunes, or Stitcher. Like we said, we will chat with you guys hopefully later in the week to preview the upcoming playoff game against the Steelers on Sunday night. And hopefully we'll have Meredith back with us as well. Yes. But thank you guys all again for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful night. Keep celebrating. Who cares what anyone else says? Be yourself.
That's right.
Go Browns. Go Cavs.
Woo! Happy birthday, Colin.
Happy birthday, buddy.